I'm Anu Omidei and this is Christian Weekly News. This week we'll be looking at some Christians recently in the public eye and their impact on their surroundings. The prominent Vote Leave politician Michael Gove, who is a Christian, is now a front-runner in the race to be the Conservative Party's leader and the Prime Minister of the country. But his rise to that position has not been without controversy after his last-minute withdrawal of support from Boris Johnson has been described by some as treacherous. Mr. Gove's accusers claim that he deliberately operated to remove Mr. Johnson from the race. It's alleged that the leaked email to Mr. Gove from his wife, urging him to demand a significant role and stand up to Mr. Johnson, was no coincidence at all. Less than 24 hours later, Mr. Gove announced his candidacy, which led to a number of important MPs moving their support from Mr. Johnson to Mr. Gove. On the other hand, Mr. Gove and his supporters say that he simply had a change of heart late in the day because it became clear to him that Mr. Johnson lacked the support required from other MPs and would not be able to unite the party or the country. And because he believes that the UK needs a Prime Minister who voted Leave, Mr. Gove said it fell on him to stand for the position. Perhaps only time will tell whether his actions have had a positive or negative impact on the UK. In other news, church leaders have condemned the rise in racism and xenophobia that has occurred since the EU referendum result. Police recorded a 57% increase in hate crimes in the 4 days following the referendum, whilst many anecdotal accounts of xenophobic and racist abuse have emerged on social and mainstream media. Cardinal Vincent Nichols, the head of the Catholic Church in the UK, highlighted a Polish centre in Hammersmith in London that was attacked using racially motivated graffiti, and protesters in Newcastle displaying the sign "Stop Immigration, Start Repatriation." He said that the upsurge in racism is simply not acceptable and that our purpose must be our common good, the good of all, with no one excluded. The Archbishop of Canterbury has also condemned the worrying trend, as have leaders of other faiths. We can only hope that these comments have had a positive impact on those engaging in such behaviour. And finally, a member of the public on an aeroplane has described the moment when a former American football star consoled and prayed for a man who fell unconscious after suffering heart problems during the flight. The Delta Airlines flight was travelling between Atlanta, Georgia and Phoenix, Arizona when the passenger took ill. Richard Gotti recalled that strangers from all over the world and every ethnicity went to assist the man for over an hour, one way or another. But Tim Tebow, a former NFL star, stood out as being among one of those praying for the sick passenger, as he did so with an entire section of the plane. He met the passenger's family as they cried on his shoulder. Mr. Gotti said Mr. Tebow made a stand for God in that difficult situation. Mr. Tebow also helped the family with their luggage at the airport and waited with them at the hospital, where the passenger eventually died. The positive impact Mr. Tebow had on a stranger and his family could not have been clearer. Well, that's all we have time for today. I'm Anu Omidei and this is Christian Weekly News.